Hello, my name is Michael Cairns, and I would like to welcome you to my first CNN report. Today, I have some good news and some bad news. First of all, the bad news. Canada-US water management is stuck in the 19th century. There is virtually no cooperation between these two great countries regarding the sharing of this most important of all natural resources. Water that could be shared and should be shared is not being shared. Without cooperation and sharing, we are helpless in the face of the increasing number of water management crises, such as the American Southwest drought last summer, unstable and falling Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway water levels, and most seriously, the drying of the Ogallala Aquifer. Since the mid-50s, the Ogallala Aquifer has been the main source of irrigation for agriculture in the American Southwest. As a result of over-withdrawal, the Ogallala is going dry. Credible studies indicate that in just 30 years, the Ogallala will not support irrigation. This will seriously damage the food productivity of the American Southwest, a disaster of immense proportions. Now for the good news. My father, Thomas Cairns, a Canadian engineer and visionary who will turn 99 years of age next week on the 13th of February, has a plan to bring Canada-US water management into the 21st century, and in so doing, save the Ogallala Aquifer and Southwest US agriculture. His plan is called the GRAND Canal, or the Great Recycling and Northern Development Canal, and he started designing it about 80 years ago. In 1959, he publicized the proposal and has been promoting it ever since. Like most works of genius, the Grand Canal is large in scale, yet remarkably simple in concept. It can be described in 4 phases. In phase 1, dikes with outflow-only dams will be built connecting islands across James Bay. This will create a new freshwater reservoir about the size of Lake Superior that will trap the freshwater from 11 of the rivers that empty into James Bay. Additional freshwater with a flow equivalent to 2.5 Niagara Falls will be added to the freshwater resources of Canada and the United States. The technology for doing this has been successfully used in the Netherlands in the Zuiderzee for the last 80 years. In the second phase, some of the captured freshwater will be transferred or recycled by a series of canals and pumping stations in existing river basins south over the height of land and down the southern slope into the Great Lakes. This is similar to what has been done with the California Aqueduct since the 1960s. The new water will be used to stabilize the levels on the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence Seaway in the third phase. In the fourth phase, water not required for stabilization will be transferred by rivers and man-made canals to water-needy areas of Canada and the US, including the Ogallala Aquifer. Unlike NWAPA, a competing water management scheme, there will be no diversions and no flooding, so environmentalists can relax. The Grand Canal will not create winners and losers. The Grand Canal is win-win. The building and operation of the Grand Canal will provide employment and other economic benefits for generations to come. More can be found out about the Grand Canal and its many benefits by following the links published on the iReport website. So you ask, why has this ingenious proposal not been seriously studied in the 53 years since it was made public? Good question. In my opinion, if we had politicians like John A. Macdonald or FDR around today, the Grand Canal would be already built. Unfortunately, in these modern times, we are blessed with politicians who are at best at leading from the rear. The sharing of Canadian water with Americans gives rise to nationalism and protectionism in Canada. In the US, it creates fears of dependency on foreign sources for essential natural resources. The Grand Canal is a political loose cannon that causes politicians to run for cover. If education about the benefits of the Grand Canal can change public opinion, the politicians will follow suit and the Grand Canal will be properly studied. Education of the public is the key. Canadians have to be educated on how they can have more water after they share it. Americans have to be shown that they can trust Canadians to deliver water from James Bay, just as Canadians now deliver electricity from James Bay. The farmers in the Texas Panhandle have to demand that their politicians investigate this new source of water for their crops. The posting of this iReport and any other exposure CNN can give to the Grand Canal can only help the cause. In the meantime, my father will celebrate his 99th birthday next week and continue to wait patiently for the time when his Grand Canal will get its due consideration. This is Michael Kearns for CNN iReport.